Hey. Time for another out-of-this-world story from rSpace. Some betrayals break people. Others turn them into something sharper, more relentless. Today on rSpace, secrets have a way of leaving trails, and once the first thread is pulled, the entire facade begins to collapse. Let's dive into part 1 of our saga, shall we? I discovered my wife, 28 female, of 7 years, is cheating on me, 30 male. She doesn't know that I know. I don't know where to begin, but I guess there's no easy way to say this. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I'm 30 years old. I work from home as a software developer. My wife, Emily, is 28. She's very beautiful. She's a hair and makeup artist. She's incredibly talented at what she does. She mostly works with brides and bridal parties, but over the last couple of years, her career has really taken off. A lot of that success is thanks to John, who owns a really popular local wedding venue. John has been a huge connection to her. Through him, she's gotten work with photographers, local advertising agencies, and even a few small modeling gigs. She's even modeled in some local ads herself. John's in his 40s, married with 3 kids, and his wife is very pretty for a mom of 3. I guess I get it, though. My wife is younger and way better looking. Our marriage has been great as far as I know. Emily and I have been together since high school. We're still best friends. We have regular date nights, an active and exciting sex life, and she's always been thoughtful and caring. I never doubted her love for me. That's why this blindsided me. A week ago, I was working from home and I heard an email notification from my wife's laptop, which was plugged in for charging. She had logged into it before going to the gym, and she doesn't like her computer locking automatically when she leaves it alone. She forgot to lock it before leaving it. I saw the email preview notification from John and it looked fishy, so I opened it. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't even sexual. It was logistical. A time, a place, and some comment about keeping things discreet. But it was the last line that floored me. "You're incredible. I can't stop thinking about last night." I thought about it last night. She came home late, said she'd had a long shoot with a photographer, and we had dinner together like everything was fine. Normal. I scrolled back through her messages and emails. Most of it was mundane, work-related, professional, but sprinkled throughout were little hints, things that didn't sit right. John saying she looked beyond stunning at an event, Emily thanking him, but keeping it neutral. Nothing about love, nothing about feelings, but it was clear something was happening. Then I read an email about booking a hotel for them both in town. It was said it was the usual place. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. I started panicking about it and went online, looking for information about cheating. I read about the red flags and thought about the ones she showed. Emily's work schedule had gotten a bit more unpredictable over the last few months. She started dressing up more, new outfits, sexy underwear, even on days when she said she was just running errands. She was grooming more down there, but I thought she was doing it for me. There were nights when she came home later than usual, blaming long shoots or last-minute bridal emergencies. But she never seemed distant. She never pulled away from me. If anything, she was more attentive, initiating sex more often, planning surprise date nights, and constantly telling me how much she loved me. That's the part that stings the most. I didn't feel like I was losing her. I felt like we were closer than ever. I started paying closer attention. Later, I was snooping around the house on the pretext of cleaning, and I found a small jewelry box tucked into one of her makeup drawers. Inside was a necklace, simple but expensive looking. I hadn't bought it for her. When I asked about it casually later, she said it was a gift from a client. I didn't question it at the time. It seemed plausible. She works with high-end brides all the time, and clients giving her gifts isn't unheard of. But now, I couldn't get the image of that necklace out of my mind. I also started noticing other things. The new clothes and underwear, the grooming, little shifts in her behavior that seemed harmless on the surface but now felt suspicious. I've been copying the messages to my computer and torturing myself by going over them and over them. It goes back about a year, which is when her hair and makeup business started booming. Here's the thing. I don't think Emily loves John. I've read through the messages, and while he's clearly infatuated with her, she keeps him at arm's length emotionally. There's no "I miss you" or "I love you," just logistics, compliments, and occasional thanks. One time she even wrote, "Haha, go tell that to your wife." But it doesn't matter. She's sleeping with him. She's lying to me, and I don't know how to process that. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't even know how to start that conversation. I keep telling myself I need more proof, but maybe I'm just delaying the inevitable. All I know is that the woman I thought I knew, the woman I married, seems to be effing another guy. If I confront her, she's going to deny it either way, right? I know I should probably just sit down and talk with her, but then that would clue her in, right? I googled it, and we live in an at-fault state. We don't have kids, So if I divorce and I have proof of her cheating, she won't get any spousal support. Also, couldn't she just make up terrible crap that I did to her in order to control the narrative with our families? I mean, I don't think she'd do that, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either. It's late and I'm drunk. I'll check out what Reddit has to say about it, but I just want to go pass out and hear any recommendations from people who have been through this. I mean, it doesn't seem like she loves him, but does that even matter at this point if she's cheating on me? Ask for an opinion, and you're certainly going to get it. Here we go. She's no longer still your best friend. No one that had true, authentic love in their heart would ever betray you like this. You're the only person that can figure out if you can somehow get past this. But if you want to know if she has authentic remorse for what she has done, divorce her at fault in which she walks away from the marriage, no contest with the minimum necessary to start over. Then, the two of you can figure out if you want to give it another try. If your wife has been doing this for a year, she absolutely doesn't have an ounce of regret for cheating on you, and she absolutely isn't who you thought she was. The next person says, "This story breaks my heart. Reading it was like jumping into my Wayback Machine and getting out in the spring of 1978 when the love of my life stepped out on me, repeatedly, before just moving out. It's mentally devastating and extremely tough to come back from. I'm still struggling with this, thus my addiction to Reddit." At this point, it doesn't really matter whether she has feelings for John or not. She's been actively lying and making choices that betray your trust. That's not a mistake or a lapse in judgment, it's a pattern of deception that's gone on for a year. Do you really want to stay with someone who could look you in the eye and lie right to your face? Or actively pretend that your marriage is healthy and better than ever? Remember, you deserve honesty, respect, and a partner who values you as much as you valued her. At the end of the day, she's grooming for somebody else, not you. Update. Since my first post, I did a lot of reading on Reddit and other forums about how to spot and catch cheaters. Her phone is password protected and I don't know the password. She's also pretty good about locking her computer, and it was just a fluke that I was able to catch it before. So I knew I needed to get evidence. The following is not my idea. This is all advice I got from obsessively reading Reddit stories and comments, as well as other forums. I ordered some cameras off the internet that looked like smoke detectors. I convinced Emily that her home insurance would go down if I put smoke detectors in every room. I ordered a book off the same site called How to Be a Great Husband, Discover the Secrets to a Happy Marriage Without Changing Your Wife, and I left it around for her to see. She did, and I could tell it made her uncomfortable. I got a GPS tracker and a voice-activated recorder, along with some strong Velcro for putting it under her driver's seat. Unfortunately, you have to subscribe to a service to use the tracker, but I figure I won't be subscribed to it for very long. Now, this has all been happening from when I first became suspicious until now. Just a couple of days ago, January 20th, is when I finally got everything set up. When I got the voice-activated recorder, I tested it by hiding it in the table centerpiece and sat Emily down and asked her questions. "Honey, I'm doing a personal inventory to try to be a better husband and partner. To that end, I wanted to ask you some serious questions and I want some serious answers. Do you feel I have ever abused you in our marriage? Do you feel I've ever cheated on you in our marriage? Is there anything you feel I could do to improve myself as a husband?" Again, I ripped this off of a comment I read on a cheating story on Reddit. I didn't come up with this. To the first question, she said no, of course not. To the second, she seemed reluctant but answered no. To the third one, she said she wished we made love more. We've fallen off quite a lot since I got suspicious for obvious reasons, but I tried to initiate a couple of times just to keep her complacent. My heart's not in it when we do it, and I think she can tell. I asked these questions so that she couldn't make up stuff about me abusing her or cheating on her later on. I don't think she would make up lies about me, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either, so I don't know the woman anymore. The voice-activated recorder got it all. I transferred the recording to the cloud. I put electrical tape over the display of the voice-activated recorder so there wouldn't be a glow under her seat at night, and I plugged some cheap wired earbuds into the jack on the voice-activated recorder and then snipped it off at the plug so that the voice-activated recorder wouldn't make any noise. Again, I got all of this info off of reading subreddits and forums. I didn't come up with this. Rolling back the clock to Christmas. Christmas. On Christmas, we spent Eve and Day with her family. It was their turn. Her sister was there with her husband and kid as well as her parents. We were at her parents' house. It was just an hour away. My parents live a couple of states over. Christmas Eve day, she got a gift bag delivered to her. I didn't see who dropped it off. My mother-in-law said it was some teenager. The gift bag said, "To Emily from Santa." At first she thought it was from me, I think. I assured her it wasn't. It was a gold bracelet. Apparently it was pretty nice. Her mom and sister oohed and awed over it. When asked where it came from, she said it probably came from a bridal party that was getting married on the 28th who wanted to reward her for giving a group discount and doing it last minute. She told us that they said she should expect a bonus. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but I nodded my head. Mother-in-law and father-in-law sort of followed my lead like it was no big deal. Let me be clear that I knew it was from John. The bridal party would have signed their names, not wrote, "From Santa." Emily must think I'm special needs to fall for that. I just got angry in the moment that she had that little respect for me, so I excused myself to the restroom. Later on, I saw her in the backyard on her phone. She seemed angry and was gesturing wildly. I figure she was reading John the riot act for almost exposing their affair. New Year's. She had the wedding on the 28th and was working with another bride for a wedding on the 4th. Whenever her phone would go off, I'd wonder if it was him. On New Year's Eve during the day, she got more buzzes and dings on her phone than normal. She would look at them annoyed. I asked her what was the problem, and she said that the bride getting married on the 4th is a real bridezilla. That night, she said she had to step out to go meet with bridezilla. She told me she'd be back in time to kiss me at the countdown. She came back around 1:30 a.m. She was crying, sobbing actually, going straight to the bathroom and coming out 10 minutes later. I told her to calm down and asked her what the problem was. She said she was so sorry. I asked why she was sorry. She said because I missed the New Year's Eve countdown. I told her she was entirely too upset for it to be just that, but she assured me it was. She even held my face between her hands and stared at me and told me she loved me. I asked her if she had anything else to tell me. She assured me that she didn't. I asked her point blank then if she cheated on me. She swore up and down that she didn't, and that she was upset because she missed the countdown because since we have been married, we always kissed each other when the clock struck midnight. I gave her every opportunity to come clean, and she still lied to me. Since then, I got the cameras and the other stuff and installed it all. Now I'm going to wait to get more tangible evidence as well as start consulting divorce attorneys. I expect it will be a while before I update again. I'll be hanging out on Reddit though. This place is addicting. Edit. Trying to head off comments. Getting real undeniable proof is important because my family loves Emily. They think of her like a daughter. In her family, she's the golden child who can do no wrong. If she told them I was abusive or a cheater, her family would believe her. My family would probably take my side, but they'd definitely interrogate me to make sure I didn't abuse her. Let's see what the community thinks. First up, since you live in an at-fault state, I would advise you to see a lawyer first and to find out what evidence you need before you ever confront her. Recordings may not be legal in court in your state. See a lawyer first to protect yourself. The OP replies, even if they're not admissible, I still need them to control the narrative with friends and family. I did a web search and it said that I'm in a one-party consent state, but I am meeting with an attorney just to see what divorce looks like. The next commenter says, brother, I'm sorry this is happening to you, bro. You don't deserve to be cheated on. Since you are in an at-fault state, I would recommend hiring a private detective. They will follow her and get you all the proof you need. It's a good investment, and it's worth hiring professionals to get that undeniable proof you need. When you get that evidence, confront her and record everything on video and audio. Get that confession for your divorce case. Good luck. That New Year's Eve scene alone tells you everything you need to know. If she had an ounce of remorse, she would have used that moment to tell you the truth. Instead, she fed you more lies while acting like she was devastated about missing the countdown. Time to get out of there. Update. Personal note, I didn't think this would blow up like it has after the original post was buried and overlooked. Thank you for all the advice and for the personal stories and experiences you have private messaged me. I'm sorry I haven't been able to respond to you all. Let me say that I'm not totally really interested in joining any cause. All you need to do is have a cursory look at the relationship subs, and you'll see there are just as many women heartbroken by infidelity as men, maybe even more. It's not a sexist issue. It's an issue of low character and morality. Having low character and morality has nothing to do with your gonads. I have had both heartbroken men and heartbroken women PM me their stories, and I see very clearly that this issue is not delineated by sex. If you don't believe this is real, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Please block me and ignore me if it's a bother. I checked the voice-activated recordings from Emily's car, and I got some info. There was the usual business and personal calls, and some Taylor Swift sing-alongs. The first call of note was with John. Apparently she had not talked to him since New Year's Eve. She was angry with him for sending the gift at Christmas and keeping her late at New Year's Eve. John was dismissive and cocky at first. Emily then told him about how I asked her if she was cheating on me during New Year's Eve. That got John's attention, and he was asking all kinds of questions. He seemed really interested if I had mentioned him by name at all. I didn't. He said he thought she was handling me. He told her that they should be safe if she has always used the card. She said she did. He asked her if she wanted to meet, and she started crying. She told him that the relationship has stopped being fun for her and that they should stop, and she wasn't going to lose her marriage over this. Too late, honey. He told her that she should just keep lying to me. He seemed really worried about his wife finding out. Oh, she will, a-hole. He told her not to call him again on his phone and that they'll talk the next time they meet. He also told her to be sure and delete everything off her phone and computer. She said she already had. Her next call was to her BFF, Bev. Bev knows about the affair and my wife was crying. Emily told Bev about New Year's Eve and that she thinks I suspect something, and Bev told her to keep lying to me, but also told her that she should probably end her affair because I would definitely divorce her if I found out, or if she confesses. Ding, ding, ding. Bev knows me so well. Emily said she is in the process of ending her affair with John. I always considered Bev a mutual friend. I've met her husband. We've been out on couples dates. He's going to get a message from me outlining his wife's literal views on infidelity, as well as a link to the recording of her phone call. I'll check with my lawyer first. Interested in both men and women's views on this. How would you feel if you knew your spouse was actively encouraging their friend to hide their infidelity and talking about how it is with their cheating friend? Should I be pissed at her? I did some web searching and anonymous asking around on social media, and on the advice of stuff I got here on Reddit, met with what I think are the 3 best family law attorneys in my area. I had official consultations with them. I did this so that 2 of them wouldn't be able to take my wife's case because of conflict of interest. What they didn't tell me in those Reddit comments and posts is that the really good family law attorneys don't do free consultations. They charge you for them, and then some prorate the charge towards your bill if you select them to represent you. So I ended up spending $1,600 for all that, just FYI. I'm not super rich. We have a lot of money saved up, but I don't want to tip her off by touching that. My wife's business is doing really well, but she has the what's mine is mine and what's yours is ours attitude when it comes to paychecks, and I didn't mind until now. I make 6 figures as a senior developer, and we don't have a mortgage or rent payment. When my mom died, my dad moved down to Florida to the Villages. He lets us stay in his house rent-free. It's already paid for. I say this because my dad is taking out a HELOC on the home to help me pay for the divorce attorney. A really good divorce attorney is very expensive, I've learned. The plan is to refinance it in my name after the divorce is over. Meanwhile, I'll be making the payments and by writing checks to my dad. The HELOC is still pending, so I'm paying with a credit card I took out for this occasion. I'm pretty much certain my credit score will be shot to hell after this. I talked to my divorce attorney and gave her the recordings, and she said it was good evidence. I told her about how Emily is ending it with John and about the card John mentioned. She told me to take a picture of the card if I can find it and send it to her. I asked her if it was legal to do that, and she said yes because it's accessible within shared marital property. She's going to subpoena the card statements. As far as Emily ending it with John goes, my lawyer said maybe, but don't count on it. My attorney also told me the same thing y'all told me, and that's I need to hire a PI. She told me she had a good one. I told her I already had all the evidence, and she said that evidence and testimony from a PI carry more weight with the court because a PI knows how to get admissible evidence legally and is impartial. She told me her goal is to get enough evidence so that any attorney my wife got would settle rather than go to trial because she'd subpoena John and John would be exposed too. She told me she wouldn't be surprised if John paid for my wife's attorney, which would be a dumb idea for her because that attorney would mainly have John's best interests in mind, but since he's paying for everything else, she'd probably go for it. I'll be meeting with a PI on Monday. Meanwhile, Emily is love-bombing me. She's telling me how great I am and how much she appreciates me and how lucky she is. She's talking about starting a family before she's 30. Not with me, you're not. She wants us to go on a long romantic trip that she's planning on paying for with her money. With John's card, probably. I want to scream at her and tell her I'd rather slam my dick in a car door, but I have to keep playing nice, for now. F this crap, man. I can't believe this is my gosh darn life now. I want to hug her and kiss her and make love with her again, but then I remember her mouth was around that a-hole's junk. She was intimate with him and then kissed me. I had sloppy seconds for 9 months, but she loves me. I love her and I hate her. I'm walking cognitive dissonance. My attorney told me to get into counseling. I will. I think I need to. I just want to run away from her and towards her at the same time. Does that sound stupid? Am I going crazy? If a so-called mutual friend was actively helping my spouse deceive me, I'd make sure her husband knew exactly who he was married to. You don't have to be vengeful, but you don't owe her silence either. And the love bombing? Classic manipulation. She's trying to reel you back in now that she feels the ground crumbling beneath her. Would you raid around to collect evidence, or would you hightail it out of there and never look back? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Stay tuned for more of this epic saga.